This is Patrick Roth, Senior Support Technician for E1 Business Solutions. A problem we run across over the years is people say they can't find a smart list that they want to edit. And as it turns out, the reason why they can't find it in SmartList Builder to edit it is because it's actually built with SmartList Designer, or it would be built from a third-party ISV, and it doesn't exist in SmartList Builder, so it's not SmartList Builder report at all. But a couple of times we've run across the case where the customer is coming from GP 2010 or earlier using an OEM version of SmartList Builder back then, and they've updated to a new version of GP, so in this case 18.7. From there, they say, yes, this is definitely a SmartList Builder report. We had it. I can pull up the backups and we can look at it, and it definitely is. And if I look at this report, this is what I built here for test, but it's called KB test, and we can see the report. It runs fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It works fine. In their case, it does too. But what they want to do is further modify it from here. And they say, hey, I can't find it in SmartList Builder in order to modify it. And so usually, again, when they say that, you suspect, well, it's not a SmartList Builder report. Well, the one clue, as I note, was that it's under additional SmartList folder. So that suggests it is. And of course, they did insist. If I go back to SmartList Builder, then we open up the maintenance window. And if I do a lookup, I don't see one called KB test. That's the SmartList name here. I don't see one called KB test. So that again suggests that it's not a SmartList Builder report since it's not in lookup. But the best method, of course, would be to always just go to the SmartList Builder SLB 10,000 table and run the query. So if I run this query, this is the table that contains the root level SmartList, and it contains the names and the IDs. In this case, the SmartList name KB test is here. It is there, and so we would expect it to show, but obviously it didn't. If we decide maybe there's something wrong with the lookup, if we pop back to here, we do see an interesting error message. I typed in .kb_test, which was the ID. It says it cannot begin with a period. Well, that's interesting. And so that looks like that might be our issue. So in this case, from a SmartList name perspective, this is the name that you see in SmartList in the UI. And then the ID is the internal SmartList ID, just to keep track of it. Now, the interesting thing about SmartList Builder 2013 and on, and something that didn't exist in 2010, so it didn't have that check, was that you can modify existing smart lists. And so for an ID perspective, in order to SmartList Builder to keep track of what report belongs with what, all modified by SmartList Builder reports always start with a decimal. So in this case, the decimal 0.12 here. The 12 is the internal SmartList ID that GP/SmartList uses, and so we just use the same number, and this is the account transactions SmartList, so it's 0.12. So it's a modified account transactions report, and we can see I changed the name to put the account transactions in. So that's interesting. So what this is telling us, and from that error message, is the reason why we can't pull it up is because SmartList Builder is puzzled, because it expects that if it begins with a decimal like that, then that's obviously a modified report. But then when it looks for it, it's looking for the number because it wouldn't be a name, and it can't find it. And so it doesn't throw an error, it just doesn't show up. And so the only way that we can solve this then is we need to fix the underlying data tables. We can't even pull it up in the UI to delete it, even if we wanted to. So yeah, so all we need to do is just go to SQL and run a SQL script. So in this particular case, we define a variable for our SmartList ID, KB_test, we know so we get the decimal, and then we update all of the SmartList Builder tables to update the ID to just KB test, where it's .KB test. And if you have SmartView, we also want to update the corresponding tables to that. And so if I run this update, Says it was successful. And if we go back, and indeed we do see our, oops, wrong one. If we do pull it up, we can see that it is that sales document setup that I created for this scenario. If we close SmartList and resave it, we can pull it back up in SmartList and verify that it works, but since we didn't change anything, other than just the name, it should work just fine. So it did work. So to recap, usually when you can't find a report in SmartList Builder, it's just because it's not a SmartList Builder based report, and if you thought so, you were mistaken, or it could be one of those odd places where it was an update from an older version, and we can't find it due to that leading decimal place.